I became angry, became hateful. And when you start losing your own people around you, that's when the terrifying part came in.
The mission was depicted in the popular movie Black Hawk Down.
Never wanted to fail, which would drive me to do better. Being smarter than the other person, more physically fit, highly trained. I lived for that. Chaos. When everything's going to shit and there's no time left and everyone's tired, I start thriving. One failure erases everything else. Put your pants back on and keep going, right?
He's my protector. You know, he's the one that's kept me safe.
It's that inner drive that you have to get better.
It sounds really crazy, but his eyes literally would turn. And when Crawler came out, it was hard to put him back. He wanted him to come out. They've given him 65 medals for it.
And then there was something bad over there. I knew it was bad and it was coming towards me. Your friends start getting killed, you're like, ooh, am I next? And I literally gave up that night. All right, I laid my knife out on the bed and I'm like, got my pistol ready and running out of ammo. I got no more water. But I was gonna do whatever I could until then. It's like, I know what the end is. So let's go. (1993) Somalia. And, you know what to expect. You're going to Somalia. I'm like, what? Where's that? Then you start watching the news, and then you start seeing what's going on. Like, oh God, it's chaos. They're killing everybody they can. It's a humanitarian mission, really. We always came out on top. We always won the day. We come back telling the stories, high-fiving about, hey, you see that bad guy and how we won, and that guy died, and that guy, you know, we captured him. And then on 3 October, it changed instantly.
12 American soldiers killed, 78 wounded. Some of the dead dragged through the streets by jeering Somalis. The worst U.S. casualties yet in Somalia, forcing the Pentagon to send...
And when you start losing your own people around you, that's when the terrifying part came in. You know, we were trapped. So maybe that was the terrifying part. You always have big old American forces that come in and get you. I mean, we're huge, we're the best. And you're like, oh, man, it doesn't matter. You know, a 13-year-old with an AK can kill your best friend. Not even trying, he didn't get trained. The reality of war, you can't get until you get into war. You know, you see it on TV, you know, the hero parties and the parades and stuff like that, and war doesn't look bad. And, you know, a couple guys get killed, the good guys usually make it out, you know, and when you're in there and you're like, oh, it's a bad guy winning. It's like, what's going on here? Our training's not taking us as fast to the finish line as I thought it would. You start doubting yourself. Your friends start getting killed, you're like, oh, am I next? And I literally gave up that night. I was scared, and I asked my team, they're like, are they gonna make it here? Because they're trying to get to us to get us out of there. And his answer was, I don't know. I was like, damn, that's not what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear sure, or yes, or lie to me, right? And he's like, I don't know. I laid my knife out on the bed and I'm like, got my pistol ready and running out of ammo. I got no more water. I go, I'll just do as much as I can until it's over. I mean, that's when I decided that I wasn't gonna make it, but I was gonna do whatever I could until then. And that kind of gave me peace. Like, you know, you accept the end versus fighting it. Like, that ain't happening, you know? It's like, oh, I know what the end is. So let's go. And that was the first switch in my life, I think, of not giving a shit about being alive. And it made it easier. And I think that was the start of many different things that led me to where I was when I got out.
It sounds really crazy, but his eyes literally would turn. He has these beautiful blue, bright, vibrant eyes, and they would turn black. Physically, he would get bigger, so like his chest would pop out, his shoulders. So physically, he would change very quickly from Calm Tom to Crawler, his call sign. And when Crawler came out, it was hard to put him back. And I think at that time he enjoyed Crawler. He wanted him to come out because it almost gave him an excuse for the behavior. And that was a pattern for many, many years.
Yo, Gracie. Well, I'm Tom Satterly, and I'm the Chief of Operations of All Secure Foundation. Yeah, I had in my opinion, I had a pretty general, basic childhood. I grew up in a Small town. Parents were very, very young when they had us. There was 3 of us. My sister was the oldest, my brother, and then me, 2 years apart each. Grew up poor, right? Young parents. So we moved from one small town to a little bigger small town as my parents were, my mom was going to college, studying to be a nurse, and my dad was just working the blue collar trades. A friend of mine, Robbie, we hung out all the time together. We lived on the same street, a couple houses down. And there's always just those couple of kids in a town that just like to pick on everybody. There's always a bully in a town. And they always seemed to find us. We had to walk across town to go to the pool. No matter what way we took, it's a small town, right? There's not many ways to go. We would always bump into them. And they would always pick on us, just name calling and everything in the book, horrible. And I'm just a small kid. I've never fought. I've never done anything. I just start crying like, oh my God, it's so horrible. And then they start punching us. I just stand there and take it. It's terrifying. Over and over and over again, it would happen. Until one day, they were picking on us again back in the woods where we rode our bikes. I just launched myself on him, and I don't think he wasn't ready for it. And it was like a freeing moment for me, though it was violent. Might have been a victim growing up, like, oh, we're poor me in this small town getting picked on. That could have gone on forever, I think. I graduated high school, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have no idea. I was just a kid. I just worked my way through high school, and I'm done. I'm like, now what? What do I do now? And a friend of mine had joined already, went to basic training and came back. He started telling me about the military. It's like, hey, I get to go to Germany, man. I'll be there for 2 years, and I get to come back and do this, and then they train me to do this. And I'm thinking, I can get out of Indiana, right? I can get out of this small town this way.
I grew up in a very patriotic, military supporting family, but my dad was a cartographer. He never served in wartime, never had combat or PTS from his time in service. So if anything, it was kind of the opposite. Like I saw my dad, who was very put together, who, showed no signs of PTS. And so, of course, I understood, like, yeah, the guys that are going into combat, that are kicking indoors, yeah, I'm sure they have a lot of, issues that they have to face, a lot of trouble, a lot of trauma.
But I went from being at home, not knowing what to do with my life, to somebody telling me what to do with my life, like, now you'll do it like that. And after about the first year, I started going to different schools that were fun. Like French Commando School, German Ranger School. I went straight to the Green Beret recruiters and signed up for the Green Berets. Again, more high speed, funner, more dangerous, but as a kid, you don't think about that. Well, after I graduated, it was a couple of guys had gone through the school with me, came, and they're like, hey, we're from Delta Force, and we think you have what it takes. You want to try out? That's when your life changes. You've done the 20-mile or the 12 miles a day after that for 2 weeks. And you end up with about 65, 70 pounds on your back. And then, oh, by the way, here's the final event. And it's called the long walk, go. And, they give you the route all the way through the national forest, and it's horrible. Well, I'm looking at this thing, and I know the instructor said you can take the road this time, or you can go straight up the mountain. I'm like, the road goes way around and back up. I'm taking the straight up route. Well, I didn't realize the contour interval had doubled. So it was twice as steep as any other mountain we've climbed. And I got a quarter of the way up and I started getting smoked, and I was grabbing trees to walk, climb up it. Starving, so I tried to eat going up the hill, never stopped walking. And I got stuck. A mountain laurel. It ripped off my compass hanging off. I had my hand as a string tied to my belt so I wouldn't lose it. I dropped it to climb through some stuff, kept going, went to grab it, and it was all string. I panicked, I freaked out, I turned around and went back. I started cussing God. I was freaking out, like, I'm gonna come up here with a chainsaw and cut all this down, I'm gonna kill everything. It was a breakdown of everything. I can't believe I've tried this hard. I can't believe I've come this far. I can't believe I'm here now without a compass, and and I'm dead, and I'm tired. And I get to the next truck, and I'm thinking it's the end. He's like, your next RV's that way. I'm like, oh my God, there's more? And it just keeps going. And the whole trail was just water because it's raining the whole time. Thinking, I get closer to the final, what I think is the final truck. I'm like, well, it's the final truck. I don't need to quit. And I check in. He's like, your next RV's on the hood of the truck. And I'm like, another one. And I almost quit. I start humping, my head goes down again, you're tired, you're worn down. I'm just staring at my boots, feeling sorry for myself. And all of a sudden I hear, Sergeant Satterly. And I looked up and there's 2 men standing on this rock right in front of me. I hadn't even been looking, right? And they were like, for you, selection has ended. And I'm like, oh, I go, why? What? No, and they, no, for you, stress faces over. I'm like, no, I'll keep going, what'd I do? And they started to grab my rucksack and I'm fighting. I'm like, no, I'll keep going. He finally gets, starts to pull it off. He's like, listen, you're done. You finished. I'm like, why? He goes, you completed it. Start off with like 120, I think. And then in the end, there was like 18 of us. But you can't tell who makes it because it's all in the head, right? It's all in the head. Are you going to quit? You going to get tired and hungry? Everybody thinks about quitting and giving up. If you go through with it, right? Like, I don't want to work. I don't want to work next to you in combat, because if you're quitting here, you're definitely going to quit there. So they get a group of guys that just don't quit. Just don't quit. No matter what it is, you just keep going. I mean, the quote is selection is an ongoing process. Selection never ends. Boom, here I am now. Finally through the selection of the unit, finally through the train up of the unit, and now I begin.
What were the skills that served you and that you used a lot when you were operating?
Never wanting to fail, which would drive me to do better. I lived for that. Chaos. That's where I thrive. When everything's going to shit and there's no time left and everyone's tired, I start thriving. It's every day, all day. You're responsible for you, or you're gone. You're responsible for your physical fitness. There's no time like the conventional forces say from 6 a.m. to 7:30, we're doing PT and you have to be here, physical training. And in the unit is work out on your own time, figure it out, but by 8 to 4, that's your time to go do shooting, CQB, your specialty mission, whatever that is. Oh, by the way, paperwork, your uniform, and then planning. So it's just all day long. There's no schedule. You make your own schedule.
So when was your first deployment?
1993.
93.
Yeah, Somalia. I smell bleach, I know. I go straight to Somalia. Bleach and the warm smell of blood with the sun rising, it'll take me right there. Well, all night through October, they'd come back with vehicles, shot Rangers and shot whoever. They'd get them out, take them to the med shed, and they need to put new people back in to come out and try to get us. The vehicles are full of blood. So they're throwing sand down and then bleach to try to, and then clean out the vehicle and put new guys in it. So by the next morning, there was so much bleach and blood on the tarmac and on the heating up asphalt. As the sun was rising, it just started to hit me. So all the vehicles were all shot up. There was blood everywhere and bleach and sand trying to soak it up. And that smell of the warming our tarmac with the sun coming up just hit me.
On October the 3rd, 1993, an elite US task force launched an assault into the heart of ID'd territory. A force of 19 aircraft, 12 vehicles and 160 troops leave their base on an operation planned to last just 90 minutes. They don't return for 17 hours.
Getting hit with bullets when there's thousands of rounds coming down the street and one of your, you got holes in your clothes. Like, you realize how close it was. And then you realize this guy's dead. I mean, okay, he was a quarter inch different than you maybe. There's a lot of luck in war. There's a lot of luck in war. You can't stop any of that from happening. Nothing was like Somalia. I remember the shrink over in Somalia before we left telling us, listen, when you guys get home, don't be surprised if you have this emotional event out of nowhere. We fly back home. It already on the news, so we had to land in another air base, get on a bus and drive home so nobody would know what was up. Got to work, put my bags away, walked out, got in the car. My wife was waiting there at the time, got in the car, drove home, didn't say a word. I'm just thinking. I don't even know what I'm thinking. I'm staring and I'm just dead inside. We get home, I drop my backpack and I turn around. She's like, so, how was it? I couldn't answer. I just started bawling. I just broke down, started bawling. And it was just, that's when it jumped on me, I stuffed that away. And I let that out, I stuffed that away, and I thought, okay, shut up. That's over with. I'm good now, right? I'm good. And I never looked back. I looked at it like that will never happen again. That kind of mission horribleness will never happen again. I'll train harder to make sure it doesn't happen again. I'll train my people harder, and that won't happen again. And that's what I drove myself off of after that. I didn't feel like I made it, yay. I felt like, man, that many people got killed. You get that guilt, survivor's guilt of the people that died and you didn't. Because we'd die for each other to help the other guy live, right? So when that doesn't happen, you're like a little blame on yourself, like, man, what could I have done different? The flight home was just miserable, just quiet. It was a quiet airplane. I was just in my head the whole time, like thinking things through and over, wondering who I hadn't seen in several days. They got evac'd back to Germany and then back home. I'm like, who's missing and how bad are they off? And then all the guys that were killed along the way, before you even get home, they're already buried. you know, so you don't get to see those funerals to have that closure. I think I went to one memorial. That was horrible. I was outside on the 21 gun salute team. Thank God, because being inside with the memorial and everything was going on, it was horrible. I could hear it outside with tears running down my face, trying to do the 21 gun salute, acting like I didn't care, right? I mean, because then you have to be tough. To look them in the face, see their misery, and then you feel like you failed them to not get their son, husband, you know, or daughter home. It's just one of those. There's no good feeling. There's no good feeling with it. A lot of guys covered up with, you know, with, I loved it, I love war, and I love killing people. And I'm like, yeah, I know. That's that bravado that's still out there. Nobody should like killing anybody. 9/11 kicked off. We were actually flying over New York, landed in Boston when that happened in a plane to go to training. So that was weird.
Wow.
When it kicked off, you know, the Afghanistan thing, we're gonna go to Afghanistan, kick some ass. I'm like, all right. They picked me to go set up the whole event. Like, go out to the desert in America, set up these whole targets. It's gonna be like Afghanistan, so we'll drive around the desert like Afghanistan. After you get back and we train, we're gonna go to Afghanistan and do it. So I got out and set it all up out in the desert out here, out west. And when I got there, I opened up my suitcase and there was a card in it from my wife. And I opened up the card, it's like an anniversary card. And I'm like, oh shit. I opened it up, it's like, don't send flowers, don't call me, don't send me a card, you missed it again. It was the second year in a row I'd missed my anniversary. I didn't even know. I had no clue what day it was. And I was like, shit, damn it. Set the trip up, came back home, showed my sergeant major the letter. He's like, you're out of here. And I'm like, what? He goes, you're out of here. And I go, no. He goes, you're not going with us. He goes, this is your second year. You've been here way too long. It's time for you to go to training. You need to be an instructor. And I fought it, and then I ended up being an instructor. I missed Afghanistan, and I thought the end of the world was happening. You know, I thought the end of the world had happened. Never home. You get married, you're never home. Your wife's like, what's going on here? You know, they end up cheating on you, or you come back and you don't know each other. It's just you have this feeling to be have an attachment. I'm never home. But you can't really love them that much if you just leave them every day of the year and your kids, and you're just rarely home. You miss all the holidays, all the birthdays, you know, because you get no say as to when you're going to be home or not. So that eats into a relationship. So guys go through that. It's just easier to get a divorce than it is to leave the organization. Something you've dumped your whole heart and soul into, and then you get your wife. And you're like, man, right? That decision right there. People are like, you're an idiot, you're an asshole, right? Just me saying it, but unless you've been there, you can't judge it. You can't understand what it's like to dedicate your life and soul to this, and then this person says you need to leave this. And you're like, you know, sorry, I'm picking the job. And that's what I did. I picked my job.
When he was violent and big and aggressive, they've given him 65 medals for it. You know, that's how they train, it's how it's thought, it's the community, it's the culture, it's all of it. And so for him to leave the worst parts of the world, like things I really can't imagine having to go through, see or do, and then do that night after night after night after night, and then come back from a rotation, and then do it again, and then come back, and then do it again. And a lot of people say there's no love in war, and that's total BS. There's a lot of love in war. The guys that fight to the right and left, you love them in a way that most civilians will never love a coworker. I mean, it's not like when I was in advertising, I'm like, I wonder if I'm gonna die today. I wonder if, you know, one of my friends are gonna get killed today. I wonder if we're gonna get mortared around that's gonna come through. I wonder if I'm gonna see children dead on the street when I walk into work. I never had to think about anything like that. I mean, the privilege of what I did was from their sacrifice. Getting into civilian life was a huge adjustment, but in his military world, like the crawler versus the Tom version, you know, he's the dad going to the football practice, he's the guy who's got a nice house and a nice car and a nice pool and all those things. You've got this great guy, and when it's good, it's so good. But when it's bad, it's ugly, and it's really bad.
I started drinking more and more, you know, it's part of the culture anyway, but I took it to another level, like all the time. I'd wake up the next day hungover, shake it off in a nice long run, you know? Like, all right, I'm sober, let's go to work again, and just every day repeat it. Did that for 18 years. Well, longer. After I retired, I did it for a while too. For me, it was downhill and my worth was gone. My only value was that organization. And when that's gone, I had nothing. I had no value. And I fully believed it. Fully believed that I'd done what I came here to do. I'm now worthless. I'm done. It's the end.
I absolutely saw Tom struggle with identity, complete and utter identity crisis. And I don't blame him. From 19 to 46, that was his world. Those were his people. That was his mission, and he was really, really good at it. I tell him all the time, because he's like, I was a shitty, shitty dad. And I said, I know, but you were an amazing war fighter. Sometimes the two of those don't go together.
I was drinking rum at the time, which wasn't good for me. You know, and then I switched. I thought, I'm gonna quit drinking as much. I switched to wine. Like, wine's healthy, right? When you like to drink, wine seems healthy to you. I started getting a gut, and the less I could work out due to injuries now, I've been injured many, many times. So, oh my God, I was huge and looked horrible and ruddy and angry, and just my nose and my eyes. And I look at that person now and I'm like, I don't know who that was at all. I have no idea who that person was. I thought I was happy. I looked at that photo about a month ago when it popped up. I was like, wow, I was miserable. I was overweight. I was declining. I was drinking. That's about as far as in life I was going to get from a drink that day. I'd walked into the bar, still got my kit on. I'm gonna get me a drink, right? By the end of the night, I'll be miserable. I'll hate life, and I'll never drink again in the morning when I wake up. And about 3 o'clock, I can't wait till it's time to get another drink. And I thought I was hiding it, but I think it's pretty visible right there. If you never met me, sure, you might not know. But I was probably the most miserable person on the planet at that moment right there.
He received his call sign Crawler back in the unit many years ago. And one of the things that we kind of used in our healing as we started to go through therapy, one of the most powerful things I saw was the therapist asked Tom, she said, hey, we need to break this rage cycle, not even anger, but rage. And she started working with him and talking about the anger and the rage and where it would come up and how it would come up in one of the most powerful sessions. So she said, listen, what does anger look like to you? What is rage? He started to describe his call sign. What does he look like? He's wearing kit, you know, describe the physical features like we talked about. And she said, can you take him and remove him from you? Can you put him in a chair over there? And he couldn't, because he's like, I need him. Like, he's my protector. You know, he's the one that's kept me safe. And it took a minute for him to be able to displace that and really disassociate and say, that's him, this is me. And I watched him cry through it. I watched him get really uncomfortable in it. And in the end, Stacy said, what do you want to say to him? And he said, thank you. Thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for the anger and rage. I wouldn't be here without it. My guys to the left and right wouldn't be here without it. Like, thank you, Crawler, but I don't need you anymore.
I hit rock bottom and they're like, you're at rock bottom. I'm like, shut up. Pull out a jackhammer. I'll tell you when I'm hit bottom, man. I kept going deeper, even though it's hurting me. I think rock bottom's a good place to spring it back from, you know? But some people can't spring back. But stubborn people like me don't believe other people. I ruined our wedding day. You know, like I can ruin any other day, by not paying attention to her. To me, my wedding day was a day. And so after the night was over, we were walking back to the hotel. She's like, you know, you didn't talk to me all night. You didn't dance with me for the first time. And my mind went to, it's my fourth marriage. My own first dance bullshit, right? I didn't care about any of that. She did. Got in a big fight about it. I woke up the next day. She's sitting on the bed with the paperwork, you know. It's a Saturday. We hadn't turned it in yet. The government won't get it till Monday. So we're not really married other than this paperwork, which nobody knows about. I'm like, oh God, day one. Here I am on day one. I mean, I went down deep. Like, on day one, I screwed this up. I went through this whole process like my whole life screwed up. I got this new thing going on. On day one, I blew it. And so she said, you do something, and you do something by this week. That's it. I spent that Sunday thinking, what am I gonna do? Monday morning, boom, on the phone, anger management. I figured I was angry, so I'll go to anger management coaching, counseling. And I did that, and I started changing a little bit. Not as angry. I'm like, oh, I can do this. I was happy about that one thing. She's like, you ever heard of transcendental meditation? I'm like, meditation, that's stupid.
Tom did not want to go. I mean, he was kicking and screaming, what is this woo-woo stuff? This is, and he came out of it in his physical, like we had talked about, the physicality of him was different. His face was like calm, it was settled. His chest was settled, everything, and it was a 20-minute session. And I couldn't believe how quickly him going into a meditative state was able to start breaking apart some of that trauma. There is something out here for him, because until then, I thought it was a life sentence.
I started getting a hold of my life again, losing weight again. I dropped 20, 30, 40 pounds, and everybody's like, what are you doing to Tom? And that's when it started. I want what he's doing. And start smiling, which was just physical. Feeling lighter, feeling cleaner. It's not just a couple of things. It's all the things that add up. The healthiness, the sleep, the exercise. What do you eat? What do you drink? How much water do you drink? Do you smoke? Do you run? It's all the things you did in the military that made you feel great. Sit on the couch and like, I'm gonna get up and go work out or go for a run. If you don't do it right then, you won't. Well, you got about 10 seconds to get up and follow that instinct, or you're gonna turn on Netflix and settle in for the night and be like, this is what I need to do. And I'll run tomorrow or Monday, I'll start. And the next thing you know, it'd been 7 years since I'd worked out. So when I could distance myself and not feel like I had to be involved every day and try to feel relevant to that organization, I realized I have my own life. I realized I have my own things to do, and I realized that they could be better than what I did before. I've realized I didn't want to be I didn't want to have peaked already. That means I'm on my way down. I start sleeping all through the night, which added to my energy, which added to me feeling better, which added to my hormones balancing more. I kept doing that. I started feeling a lot better. I'm like, well, this works for PTSD because I don't feel horrible anymore. Now I'm still doing transcendental meditation. I'm eating better. And then it stepped up to, well, let's try this. Well, let's go do that. And we just kept doing it, and we started filming him and then posting him online. And everybody's like, hey, what'd you do to Tom? He's smiling, he's got teeth. I never knew he had teeth. He was always grinding, screaming at people. I came out of that 6 months straight. She'll tell you I was a completely different human. Completely, instantly. It was like 6 years of therapy at one time. And then it just hit me. I was like, man, I'm nothing. I'm a small piece of this planet. Who did I think I was? Who do I think I matter? I haven't felt joy in so long I didn't know what joy was. So my intention was, I want to feel joy. I was so happy. I don't remember ever being that happy. And I kept that for many, many months, that everything in life was good. Everything in life had a good side. And I had wasted my life looking at the bad side. After that, I'm like, there's two sides. And if I choose this side, I'm joyful, I'm happy. And this side I can just let go. And since then, this side's always here, right? Yeah, go to that. But this side's stronger now. And this side's like, no, you don't want to do that, because it'll take you right back here. That's the dark. They want you down there. Go to the light always.
A lot of men especially will say, I will do absolutely anything for you, and to the point of I would die for you. And you'd said that to your wife, and I think the response was incredible.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, she just said, I don't want you to die for me. I want you to live for me. Smacked me in the face with that. I never thought of that. I'll kill for you. I'll die for you. She goes, I don't want either of those. I want you to live for me, but mostly for yourself.
And I think for a war fighter, so many of them say, like, I'm really desperately trying not to bring the war home. I don't talk about war stories. I don't talk about the things I saw. I don't talk about the death or the grief. Like, I try to keep it out of the home. But the thing is, like, once you go to war, it doesn't matter if you don't share the stories, it's coming back with you. And it's really challenging. And and it quite often makes you feel crazy. I mean, I sat in front of therapists with tears saying, I'm like, am I crazy? Like, this life is so hard. Like, what am I doing here? And how do I help him? How do I save him? You know, I'm on this raft in the middle of the ocean and there's sharks surrounding me and I know I'm toast. So like, and I'm trying to pull him out of the water with the sharks surrounding him too. And I've got the kids and I've got all of my job and my responsibilities in the house when he's deployed and everything else, and it stacks and stacks and stacks. And so it's really impossible to get statistics on the spouses and the children who take their lives due to this type of world. But the Pentagon had given the number 200 spouses had taken their life. So every 1.8 days, a spouse is taking her life.
We help any special operations, serving in any capacity, in any branch. I've cried on the phone with people. When we started out, her and I both were on the phone 8-10 hours a day. Like, that was our foundation. I'm like, yeah, listen, hey, this is the deal, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I went through, blah, yada, yada. And now I'm here, and they're like, oh, okay. They want some of that. And the next story, 8 hours a day of the same story. And that's when Jen was like, you need to write a book, because I can't do this all day. Telling people the same story, the same story, the same story. She's like, write a book. I'm like, no, it took her a year to get me to even start. I'm like, no way, we're in the unit, we don't write books. We make fun of SEALs who write books. And plus I'll get my ass handed to me, right? So finally, I got to stop doing this. Let me tell the story once in a book, talk about how it ends and, you know, and touch a little bit on the foundation. So those who hit me on it aren't, you know, oh, Commando, telling all the stories. I go, well, you didn't read it, did you? Because it's not a flattering book for me. But I get a lot of, hey, thanks. I get a lot of people on the phone that, you saved my life, you saved my marriage. I'm like, no, we didn't. We give opportunity, that's it. We give you a means, we give you the opportunity, come on in, it's free. If you don't do it, it won't work. And I read your book together. Well, I'm illiterate, she read it to me. And it gave her a way to really understand it. Today life looks very different. I'd say you're a huge piece of what pulled me out of that pit. If it hadn't been for that early help and hope, I honestly don't know where I'd be today. I've lost the chance to meet you in person one day. Oh, I'd love the chance. The episode was awesome. You know, like, hey, thanks for helping my mommy and daddy. That'll make you cry. You know, some kid drawing that with a crayon. Still almost makes me cry. It's just so overwhelming that we make change that we really were worried we could make. Writing the books so many times. The book, oh my God, it's my story. That's me. You wrote about me. I'm like, yes, I know that. Because I'm the same. You're the same. We all have issues and troubles. They all affect us. If we don't figure out how to get out of it, we're going to stay there. And a lot of words like, I don't want help. I don't need help. I've got pictures somewhere. I called him the grumpy garden gnome. This SF guy and his wife came up, he had a big old red beard and red hair and just a frown on his face, man. His wife's like next to him, like, my eyes up in the air, like, oh, my mean old husband here. I mean, a hardened military spouse and a hardened SF guy that just hated the world like me. And I'm like watching, like giggling, like, oh, I know where you're at. And I see him every time they come through, and I know, and I grab that person, the worst case. I look at him, I go, and then like my grumpy garden gnome here, and he'll look around like, and I'm calling him out in a room of people. I go, I see that hardened face. We're going to crack that shit, you know? And then a day and a half later, when he came back with his cracked, you know, his face had cracked, and he looked completely different. And I knew we were making a difference. And it just keeps rolling in after that. Home front after people with talking to our coaches. I get emails and texts and all the time about, again, you saved my life, you saved my relationship. No, we just gave you opportunity and the tools, and you did the work. But all the time, and that's when I'm like, yeah, what we're doing is better than what I ever did. And people are like, you're saving more lives now than you saved back in the day. I'm like, that's for sure.
Has it been smooth sailing since you started doing it? You had any difficult moments to get through?
Lots of difficult moments. Yeah, we have people that don't make it, that have come through. One guy wrote Jen a letter. He's like, you know, all secure was amazing. Your coaches are amazing. Home front was amazing. We had a big turnaround. I found my wife this morning. She'd taken her own life with your book next to her. One failure. erases everything else. Put your pants back on and you keep going, right? It's not up to you to save them. You can't. I can't make you save yourself or do anything or change your habits. I can show you a better way. I can give you the tools to make it better. But you got to walk that path. And so it's not my fault if you choose not to walk that path.
We all lose our way. And sometimes you just need somebody to kind of go over here. And then, by the way, you need this in your rucksack now, not that. Take that other stuff out, put that stuff in. But we got a letter, I think they were about 4 and 9, crayons, and the older girl, Jane, had said, "Thank you for saving my mommy and daddy." And it sat on our refrigerator until we moved. The little 4-year-old wrote, "I love you," and had his little drawing too. But when you help a warrior and you help his spouse, you're helping the children. If you want to donate, 100% of your donation goes directly to supporting our program. So that means a warfighter session, a spouse session, our Camp Homefront event where we bring out 500 operators, an incredible 3-day event, because we have an admin donor who is covering all of the other costs. So you don't have to worry about that. 100% of your donation goes directly to our programs. That's at the same site, allsecurefoundation.org.
A really exciting project that my team have worked on exclusively for all our Patreon community. Over 3 or so years ago, I shot this amazing video with Tulam. Some of you might know him, down at the shooting range. We were shooting guns and we were talking about philosophy. Now, unfortunately, to upload that full video onto YouTube was a little bit risky for us as a YouTube channel. So it sat there. And a little bit known to me, the team loved the video so much they decided to put it together and edit it exclusively for the Patreon members. So they've edited it, they've finished it off, and it's now available at Patreon. So if you go to the link down below, you can get exclusive to that and many, many more videos. Not just that project. The team has been doing this with all the projects that were either a little bit too far on the side of YouTube's guidelines, or something that might be a little bit out there or wacky that we thought that maybe just you guys might want to hear. So please go down below, sign up to Patreon, and help support the mission of Inspire Change. It's not just about a sponsor or any of those kind of things. The reason we're trying to push Patreon at the moment is because it's a community that we're trying to build. We're trying to talk to you guys one-to-one. You'll get exclusive Zoom calls with myself. We'll talk on camera. We'll do direct videos just for you guys. We'll show you how to be a filmmaker, all that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, if you want to join that community, if you want to be a part of Inspiring Change and you want to inspire change yourself, please consider going to Patreon down below and get the new exclusive Tulam episode.